I met a Gypsy.
The KTM launch the other night. What did you think of Chase?
Oh, I thought he looked pretty good. I was impressed. I mean, I try not to read too much. Like, I'm not the best bench racer when it comes to like off-season stuff and like looking too far into it. You know, the guys who are the worst in off-season sometimes are the best at A1, and so. But as far, I thought it was cool. I think it's going to be cool. I really respected, like in the interview that I did with him, like I tried to get him to talk about Honda versus KTM, and he admitted that like, yeah, the Honda wasn't good. You know, there was problems that I had with it, but some of the problems were my fault. Like I should have rode it differently. I should have maybe approached it a little different way, setting up the bike, you know. So he owned his mistakes, and I thought that was cool. I've known Chase since he was like 13. We went to the Czech Republic and raced the Junior World Championships, and he rode the same exact way back then, you know, back flat and butt out and like standing a lot. And it was pretty cool to see that on a little YZ85. And yeah, so he's still got the same style. He's still ripping. And I was impressed with his interview more than I was with his riding. Like the riding was cool. Yeah. And like the track was fresh for them. So they built a brand new track. And so all the guys were kind of like, ooh, it's a little steep. It's a little dark out here. They were all kind of taking it easy. And then they have all these people watching them. So, but he looked cool. He looked good.
I listened to that actually, the interview that you did with him.
Oh, cool.
And the one thing that I thought was cool that he said that I've been saying on the podcast for probably since Unadilla. Unadilla is where I really noticed it, where I said Chase puts too much load through his foot pegs on braking.
Nice.
So that's like, you can see Jet they ride the same technique visually, like if you looked at it, but Jet is unloading the bike in the roughest sections of the track.
Yep.
And Chase is loading the bike through the roughest sections of the track. So after that round in particular, that's when I was like, okay, I think I know what's going on.
Totally.
And then you could see Chase has so much load, and it's almost like he loads it to that release point. It's because I feel like that Honda has a release point where it's like it goes and it feels great, and then it releases.
Yep.
And so it's like he's loading the bike and flirting with that release point essentially in every time that he is braking. And because it was one of the things where when he did the podcast, it's like a puzzle, you know, I'm like trying to figure it all out.
Yeah.
And so I was like, where do you feel the most pressure on your body when you ride? And he says, my feet. And I was like, okay. So that was like the first little bit. And when you know some of the exercise, like the workout stuff that he does, the feeling and like where you get the most tension in your body. And so like it's a little bit of a puzzle piece to put together.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I think he's loading the bike too much. And then he's on a bike that has this snap oversteer in a certain part of the turn.
Yeah.
And those two things are coming together. And then so to listen to him say in your interview that I just was loading the bike too much, I was like,
ooh, he's been watching your videos too, man.
I
good.
I don't think he has. But he would have felt that's obviously what he's feeling.
Yeah.
Is that because that's what I was trying to ride like, and I'm still riding like, is that load, like really loading the bike a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like when you see Jet, he's doing almost like what mountain bikers do, where they're just like clip-ins, right? Like unload. Everything's unloading as much as possible.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was very interesting to hear him say that in that video.
That is pretty interesting. So Panicrev, it's a Christian motocross ministry, and they do camps.
Yeah.
So I'm getting ready for our winter camp. We're going to be training riders, technique and everything. So we do technique, we do chapel service, and all of it mixed in together for 3 days in a row. And so I've been a trainer there.
What track are you guys doing it at?
We're doing it at Verona Oaks down in San Diego.
Yeah.
So it's been at Glen Helen for a long time, and then it moved to Lake Elsinore for a while, and then now we've trying to mix it up. So we're going to try Barona for the first time.
Is there still slots available for
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Sick.
Dude, we'd love to get you signed up for it if you want.
When
or
is it?
somebody could come. It's January 1, 2, 3.
Okay,
so
cool.
Right, the week of A1. Every year, winter camp is usually the week of A1. And then we do summer camp in the middle of summer in SoCal. And then they do Texas, Washougal summer camps as well.
Yeah, sick.
But,
yeah, there's probably a bunch of people that are like listening that would go for sure.
For sure. It'd be awesome to have anybody. But so yeah, long story short, like from training at those camps, like I become a better rider training kids and training guys. Like we have guys from 7 to 57, you know, like vet guys come, a lot of young middle-aged guys, and younger guys, young adults, and then a lot of minis. It's a wide range of guys. But you know, talking about the loading, like I think it is right to load your foot pegs.
Yeah.
Of course. Like you want all of your weight to be going through the foot pegs. That's the center of the bike. But Jet does it in an exceptional way of like loading it when it needs to be loaded and unloading it when it needs to be unloaded. And Chase, like hopefully I'm a huge Chase fan. I'm a huge fan of all of them, but like hopefully his technique works on the KTM and he can prosper and do well on it. And, he said that it does take that load better, you know, put it through the foot pegs.
Exactly, yeah.
So that's pretty interesting. It'll be cool to see. But even like going back to the camps, like foot on the pegs, standing laps, like that's stuff that I work on with the guys there. And then on the other flip side of that, like me being in this position now, analyzing like you are, all the guys that are racing, interviewing them. Like I got to ask Dungey and Tomac and Jeremy McGrath and all these guys what their favorite technique drill is. Like I'm like, well, what's the best question I could ask? Well, I want to know what Dungey did to get such good technique, you know? And he said he just rode around in circles. He would just get in a parking lot and ride around in a circle and like get the proper technique, like elbow, head, foot position, and just like ride around in a circle for a long time. And I think that was Shannon Nide that him and Trey Kennard trained with. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it was, and they would do a lot of that. And then Tomac, it was feet on the pegs. And McGrath was like pushing through jumps. But long story short, like analyzing these guys racing and what they're doing right and wrong like you are, and then training riders at the camp, like telling guys for 3 days in a row, and I ride too, like, hey, this is what you should do, this is how it should look, and I do it and have fun and like rip the corner. Like all those two puzzle pieces help me become a better rider now.
Yeah.
But when you're in the grind of racing, like I didn't watch very many videos. I didn't listen, you know, to anybody. Gypsy Tales wasn't around when I was racing, so I had nobody to listen to, you know. So I was just like grinding on racing and grind at the gym, grind at the track with Ramsey. And like Ramsey had us working on technique and stuff, but
it was such a small percentage of
it was always just
focus.
Yeah, just me. And even with Ramsey, like he changed and helped me night and day. But there's still more that I've continued to learn since then. And it's just funny, like watching videos and dissecting other riders helps so much. Like, as you know, I would be on TV, like my buddy would text me like, dude, there's a shot of you in Supercross, you know, and like they got a clip of you at Unadilla this weekend. I didn't even watch it because I was so busy driving to the next round or like, you know, flying back home. And it's like, I have one day off. Am I going to go like fast forward for the 5 seconds I was on TV, or am I just going to do something else, you know? And like I got ruined by Baggett and Tomac this weekend, and I don't even want to watch them. Like I just unplug for the day, you know, and then go back to training the next day. So it's just funny how like dissecting it helps so much. And I wish I would have done that more as a rider. Maybe like, dude, honestly, the biggest benefit for me, like like once a month, take a full training day instead of going to the track, stay home and watch videos of myself and watch videos of guys I want to be like. How much better would I have been if I would have just spent one day a month instead of going to Glen Helen or Milestone or wherever track I was going to, and instead of going to the gym or a road bike ride that day, I skipped it, did a recovery day, and just watched. And like, I don't even have to take away my Sunday recovery day when I go in the church or when I'm hanging out with friends. Like, just make it a part of my training regimen.
Yeah. How
much better do you think the average pro would be if he spent more time doing that kind of stuff?
We are excited to announce the launch of our new membership site, gypsytales.com, packed with exclusive content and perks that you won't find anywhere else. This is your chance to become a part of the Gypsy Gang. And as a special bonus, if you sign up to an annual membership, you'll be entered into the draw to win our custom-built TC125. Gypsy Gang.